I've always had kind of a fascination with hair and just how it looks, different textures. I remember when I was 9 years old, sat at my desk in school, and I remember pulling out my first hair. My prime pulling spot is right on the back of my scalp. I would pull a hair and then I'd do it again and then do it again and again. So the repetitiveness of it was just massive. And it generally results in a strong feeling of guilt. Trichotillomania is a hair pulling condition that I've had since I was 9 years old. There are a lot of things that I still need to do to find acceptance with my condition. It's definitely a personal growth that I need to go on to feel fully happy with who I am. So as a teenager, I think my hair pulling got really bad. I know that a lot of people have rituals after they pull a hair. For me, I pull it between my teeth and then I put the hair on the floor. And that kind of cycle is the thing that calms me down. I don't really think of the fact that it's actually damaging my hair. And that's why I have literally no photos of when I was really suffering with trich, because it was something that I didn't want to look at. I've only ever had one main hairdresser that actually is allowed to touch my hair. She's the only person that I felt comfortable with touching my hair. I was thinking earlier, Tina, you've been cutting my hair since I was 9, haven't you?
Yeah, I think
a long time.
It is a very long time.
A really long time. I think it's important for me to be open, and that's why I made this documentary, because I want to make people realise that they're not on their own with this. So today I'm going to meet 2 people who I found in a Trichotillomania community, and I'm meeting them in a cafe. And this is going to be the first time actually that I've ever met anyone with Trichotillomania in person. Yeah, I'm feeling really nervous. I don't really know how it's going to go. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I think it's going to be a really natural chat of just how this horrible condition has affected our lives. So I'm Grace, and yeah, I have Trichotillomania, and I know all of us do, which is crazy.
It feels very strange because it's I've never met anyone in person that also has trich.
We all understand what it feels like to have Trichotillomania in society, and the kind of all of the just the way it's treated, the way it's discussed in society,
and stuff,
and all the judgment as well, because we've all been through the same thing. There's no judgment.
Yeah, definitely.
I definitely think that was one of the most difficult things growing up, was I thought I was completely alone in this until I found out on Google one day that actually it was a thing. And it's hard, being a kid, and you think that you're crazy, that you're pulling out your hair and the only person in the world who's doing this, and no one understands it either.
My trich started when I was 7 years old, and it was shortly after my school had started going to the local swimming pool and doing swimming lessons, which is why my mum thought it was the chlorine in the water, that I was allergic to it or something, and it was making my eyelashes fall out. When it was kind of presented as an option, that it's it might not be just it might not be a medical thing and they might not be falling out, it might be something that I'm doing to myself.
Even though I discovered myself that it was a real diagnosable disorder, I didn't really say it to anyone for it must have been another 6 years.
Yeah.
So I kept it to myself.
My mum was very much involved with my Trichotillomania for myself anyway. I don't think there's ever any way that I'm ever going to stop.
My first memory of Grace having the condition was probably in her teenage years. We'd have our hair cut at home and I stood behind chatting to the hairdresser, and at that point that's when I noticed she had bald patches in the back of her head. She wouldn't open up to me about the condition because I don't think she really understood it herself.
My mum was saying to the doctor, oh, she's pulling her hair out, like she's got a bald patch, what's going on? Like, is this like a normal thing?
You suddenly turn to the internet because you don't know about a condition, and of course then you've got so much information and it's just impossible to really know where to start. I felt guilty because I couldn't help her through something that I so desperately wanted her to get through.
So when I was 15, my bald patch got quite bad. I actually went to a place called Rapunzel's near where I live, and they fitted a hair system, like a hairpiece, to the back of my hair to cover my patch and to make me just feel a lot more confident about myself.
This was the kind of thing that you had, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the same sort of
To
thing.
cover. So what we find is that generally when you cover the area, you can't get to it.
Yeah, that's
So therefore it can break the habit. I think you had something that sort of size.
Yeah.
Obviously there are things where people want to be able to take them off. I think yours was yours was beaded.
Beaded, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
that was on my head the whole time,
permanently,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
So where we go around, a little bit of this hair with a little bit of your good hair, secure it with the beads.
Yeah.
Hence you came every probably 4 or 5 weeks
Yeah.
to have a tighten, and then every 12 to take it all off and check it all.
I was very reluctant for her to have a wig to start with. Although she was saying, Mum, I need this, I would like this, I struggled because I thought that was another reason, another way that she would stand out for bullies to latch on to something else to give her difficulties with, you know, to pick on her even more.
There's just not much awareness of
No.
it at all.
And I think people suffering with it a lot feel such shame.
But now I know she was struggling. Of course she was struggling and she was crying out for help. And as a parent, I wanted to provide that help. But I didn't know how to. I didn't know how. I mean, as a parent, you want to do all you can for your child. In some ways, if I'd have stood back, would it have been any worse? I don't know. Possibly. I mean, now I can stand back and that's part of her and I understand it now. Once I was in the shop, I could feel, yeah, this is right for her, and the conversations we were having with the hairdressers there, they knew about it, and they knew how to make her feel good.
I felt like I was no longer the girl with the bald patch. I was more just me, and my bald patch wasn't a part of me at that time, and I think that at that time that's what I needed.
It gave us time for her to be happy as a person, and it gave her time to know that her hair was growing underneath the wig, and it gave us time to just be mother and daughter again. That's why I realised I don't need or didn't need and still don't need to find a solution.
Yeah.
But that has been learned because, like you say, time.
Yeah.
So it's learning to leave time to come to terms with it as a parent, that this trichotillomania is a condition that is there. I think it's really encouraging that Grace now feels strong enough to share her experience, to give support to others. Obviously, I'm really proud of her because it's been a long journey.
A question I get a lot is, why do I pull my hair? And I don't really think there is an answer for me. I still do pull my hair, and I think I always will. It's not something that will ever go away. It's just something, it's a small part of me. It's not me, it's just a small part of me.